All right. That's good.
All right. For the record, Destroy All Vampires is the name of the comic book.
Oh, good call. Or did you look it up?
We just looked at it.
It's still a good
Bringing
call.
us in.
It was a good call. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Natty19 Podcast, COVID-19 edition.
COVID-19.
We are here doing remote recordings, so we apologize in advance for any technical difficulties. There's most likely will sound like our Garage Days Out of the Abyss recordings,
If not worse.
if not far worse.
You think it's going to be that bad?
Probably. Well, we'll see.
Mine's going to be great.
I'm just preparing everybody for the worst. This way, if it, I don't know.
What do we expect, man? We're Natty19. This is COVID-19. This is our 19th BTS.
What?
Whoa.
Holy
Bro.
shit.
Boom. Mic drop. App's over.
We'll pick that mic back up because we got a show to do for the listeners tonight. I know we don't really have much of the way of content as far as like TOA content because what do we have, one episode since our last BTS?
Oh, no, man. We did The Maze, Part 1 and 2. And then a couple more after that.
Oh, okay. For some reason
And
I thought we only had like one episode since BTS 18.
Yeah, so what have we actually done since the maze?
Oh man, I don't even remember, guys.
I know, we haven't played in a month.
Oh my goodness.
Come now. Since The Maze, well, we backtracked a bit. I remember that. And we went back past the mirror and through that door with the symbols and
Yep.
the hand and the stars.
Yeah.
And well, the great thing about this BTS too is that we're caught up now. We're actually all caught up in the story, right in the same page. So when we left off, it was on that cliffhanger with the Bodax.
That's right.
Oh yeah,
We
the
found
Bodax.
the black opal crown.
Yeah, but that's all that happened since our last BTS.
Well, yeah, and
I
we
think
had
we
the maze
spent a
fight.
lot of
The
time.
maze fight.
Oh, the maze fight.
Yeah, and I think
But that was like 3 episodes. Sorry, go ahead.
I think we spent a lot of time not solving puzzles.
Yeah, I think toward the last few, there's been
just
a little bit
couldn't-
of a lull. Like
we couldn't figure out quite a few of the riddles.
Yeah.
Or we
along
just
the
didn't
way.
want to mess with them because they were a little scary at the point in time.
No,
Like,
no,
with
we couldn't figure
the-
them out.
I think I'm
Good.
riddled out.
I
oh,
am
I
Ghoul for
know,
the ghoul.
guys. And
What?
you guys have like 2 or 3 more floors to go too, and there's
riddled out. Riddled with riddles.
yeah. I mean, you got 2 things in the Tomb of Annihilation. You have riddles and combat, right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm ready for combat. I just made a combat-oriented character.
That's true. But,
Yeah, you did.
But the combats are usually, so far anyway, they've usually been as the result of failing a riddle for the most part. Obviously not all the time, but yeah, they've been and they've been rough because of it. You know, some of them. Necrotic damage and shit like that.
Well, let's walk it back to the maze. I mean, we didn't really fail the riddle going in there. We found
but-
the invisible key and
Yeah, but
got
that,
over the
that-
acid pit.
Yeah, but that fight was the riddle, kind of, right? In a sense where I'm sorry if my throat's scratchy. But so you guys go into the maze one by one, and then these minotaurs, they're not that powerful, right? But obviously if one character is left in the chamber, 2 characters left in the chamber against all these guys, then it could be a little rough. So the fight itself, you could always flee. You guys had your own methods individually to leave the room and be done with it at any point in time. So the fight itself kind of was the riddle in that case. You had to get the key to open the sarcophagus. The sarcophagus just so happened to be surrounded by a ton of undead minotaurs, right?
Yeah, I thought for sure somebody was going to die.
Yeah. I'm almost getting bummed when somebody doesn't die now.
Oh, in a matter of time. So after the maze and the Minotaur fight, the cuckoo clock.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about the cuckoo. That's like
another
another thing we didn't do right.
No, that was a fun episode, though. I enjoyed that one. That was like the last one that I really listened to, I think. And I remember really liking it.
So Gunther, being human, aging 10 years is fairly significant.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's quite the same for Cappy. Is it supposed to be 10 years equivalent no matter what race you are? Or is it just 10 years and elves could absorb it a lot more easily than humans?
That's what I assumed that it was.
I mean, seeing as he's half-elf, I'd mark it down as pretty much 10 years, Yeah, I don't really know exactly how that works.
Yeah,
I'm asking the GM.
Oh, you're asking me? I'm not an elf.
No.
I know.
I ain't no fucking elf.
I know, but it's your call.
I'm going to go ahead and say half-elves, and I'm going to go ahead and say that Swain's spot on, and that's the call that I would have made, too. I think that half-elves would be more akin to humans. That human blood, dude. You got a drop of that human blood in you, mortality is there, dude.
Well, I mean, right. So I guess, but even half-elves have a longer lifespan, right, according to the rule book?
I think according to...
You come with your facts, man.
Yeah, if I were to... Well, honestly, I didn't think we were going to do a BTS tonight. I thought we were just going to give an update, shoot the shit for a bit, and then call it.
Now we're hitting you with the hard questions.
Well, I guess it's easier to think about it this way. Is that regardless of half-elves or what characters were there, do you think that 10 years is a flat 10 years? Like, that's how much time passes due to the effects of the clock? Or do you think it's like it ages each individual relatively according to like their own lifspan?
No, I mean, when it comes to a magic item like this, I think that it's a good question, but I think that the designer of the clock most likely just set it to a 10 years flat. I mean, time is time, right? When it comes to programming a magical item, so to speak, you probably program it to 10 years. And how that 10 years affects each and individual race, I think, comes after the fact.
Yeah, 'cause take like a dragon, for instance. They live for ages, right? So is it going to age them 500 years now?
Right.
It can't be that powerful.
Exactly.
So basically it's like if we take an airplane ride or something.
So on D&D Beyond, it says...
Don't really notice it, but time has changed.
Half-elves mature at the same rate humans do and reach adulthood around the age of 20. They live much longer than humans, however, often exceeding 180 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was going to say they're probably upwards of 200 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'd be great, huh?
Yeah, no, I don't know.
I would love to live, like, just forever, basically.
I would be... So, if you lived forever, you would eventually be a hero or a villain.
Isn't that the fate of all mankind? All humans?
And I would definitely be a villain. Like, if you give me a short amount of time, I'll do what's right. But you give me forever, I'll just run shit.
You don't think it'll be easier for you to do what's right? Like, you've already gone past the difficult, the challenges and the dilemmas and
I don't
wrestled
know.
with your own morality.
Think I'd be a villain.
Yeah. I mean, no shame in it. You are what you are, right?
Yeah, what can you do?
I mean, every hero needs a villain to fight. So.
That's what I'm saying. Maybe I'd be like No, I was gonna say anti-hero, but that's even more liked than the hero.
Anti-hero?
Yeah.
Is that what you're going to make your nieces and nephews call you?
I am. Anti-hero.
What's that hot steaming mug you just put down?
It's cold coffee.
Oh, it looks hot and steamy from here. I guess just because it's in the mug.
So what else did we do? So we didn't talk too much about the Minotaur fight, but I guess, it was what it was. We took our turns through the maze. Did anybody not go into the maze?
I didn't.
I think...
Did I?
Irme didn't?
I don't believe Irme did. I think Irme just left the room. Did I decide to go into the maze? Yes.
Yeah, you definitely did. You flew
across. I did go in.
across.
That's right. I flew across and went in. That was an interesting fight. It's kind of... We don't run from things too often, And that was definitely a strategic trying not to engage in this battle moment for us.
You mean for Irme in terms of the reason why she ran into the maze?
Yeah, well, first she went into the hallway, but not just Irme. I mean, essentially when we were all sitting there talking about what we should do, and even a metagame kind of level, we were like, we knew we had to get ourselves out of the situation, not just stay and fight.
Yeah, I think that the reason, the real threat for that, from what I could see, was that we were all split up.
Yeah. Yeah, you should never split up.
But in that case, it wasn't necessarily a complete choice.
No.
Yeah, I mean, after 3 of us were out, the rest of the battle pretty much got hand-waved.
Yeah, that was definitely the strategy of whoever wrote that up was definitely to divide and conquer.
Yeah. But I think the amount of damage I did at first with the Minotaurs, though, remember, every time I would do that much damage, it would cost me a spell slot.
Yep.
So if we kept that up, it could have wore down a lot of my resources.
Yeah, I'm not sure we could have... I don't think that we could have taken all that on.
I think we could have made it through, but I think it would have used a lot of resources.
I don't know. Some of those... There was a pretty hard hit one of them did that probably would have fucked Irme up pretty good if she took a couple of them without a heal.
So then, the Minotaur match, the clock, and what led up to the Black Opal Crown?
I don't think there was much else other than that. You guys backtracked because you couldn't figure out the other riddle with the snake heads.
What was the snakehead riddle again?
It was annoying. So there was 2 snake heads, and there was blood in their mouths.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's still there though, so
Yeah.
we don't want to crack the code here on a fucking BTS where we,
No.
in-game.
I was just curious to remember.
Yeah,
I wasn't going to try to solve it. I just wanted to know what it was.
There was a door, and then in front of the door, sticking out of each wall of the hallway, was 2 snake heads, and in their mouths was blood. And
there was like dried blood, and there was smell of death on the other side of the walls.
Oh yeah, we had talked about sacrifices or something.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. If we had to let it bite us, or if, we didn't know. Blood.
With you guys, probably just a solid minute of just focused dedication towards the words of the riddle, and you guys would have had it. But for whatever reason, you guys just weren't in. It was 2 separate nights.
Yeah, I know.
2 separate nights, and both of the nights, you guys were just not having it.
There's another
Yeah,
one.
the thing with riddles, though, is they're very crystal clear when you have the answer.
Yeah.
Right.
When you don't, and when you have it, you're like, why can't these people get the answer? That's so easy.
That's fair. But we can agree that you can recognize a fairly easy riddle, though. I think.
When
I definitely read it in my downtime, and I couldn't figure it out on my own.
I am an excellent riddler.
There was for a little while we were banging through the riddles.
Yeah.
I'm trying. Oh, I know. You guys have. Let's put it this way: you guys have gotten far more difficult riddles than this one. And maybe that's what it is. Maybe you guys are just, maybe you're expecting it to be more complex.
Are we going to solve it right now? Is that what's going on?
I hope he's looking it up. I wonder if we did solve it, but then decided that we didn't want to risk whatever we had to do. Whatever the riddle called for.
Whatever, yeah. So then we decided to turn around. And what were the events that led up to the Opal Crown? Did we have to figure something out there?
Wasn't there a mural and you had to with a spear?
Oh yeah, K-Way looked that one up. It was the image of the guy raising his hand, extending his hand up. And you just pretty much had to do what he was doing. You had to mimic the portrait.
Did you just throw K-Way under the bus? You're like, oh yeah, he looked that one up to figure it out.
Oh yeah, dude.
No, I don't think K-Way did, because we had talked about...
Don't defend him just because he's not here.
Because I had talked about maybe we shouldn't have destroyed the mirror, and if we had pushed the mirror to the mural and it mirrored the mural, I thought that was like what would have unlocked it.
Right.
So then I think he got the idea to mimic it from that.
You're giving him way too much credit.
Yeah, I was kind of happy as a player to see that K-Way was going to fulfill, that Zavril was going to fulfill his promise and get the Black Opal Crown.
I was very excited for that. And then I don't feel like everyone in the group was. Irame was definitely on the other side of that fence.
Yeah, Irame, well, as a character, I mean, as a player, it would have been cool. Or it is cool. But as Irame would definitely not fuck with that.
Did Irame and Svitlangi have a little bit of a coming together or bonding moment before parting ways? I can't remember.
I think that they did, yes.
At least come to an understanding.
Yeah, I think they did.
Mutual respect, if you will.
Mm-hmm. Which is funny to think about, because if you think all the way back to when they argued about the slaves.
Oh, wow, yeah, so the Bodax, that's where we left off. K-Way, Zavril takes the crown, the Bodax crawl from the mouth of the green devil face that was on the wall. And yeah, they came around each one from the northern passage, because the room itself, was a sort of collection of corridors. And when they crawled out of the mouth, one went south, one went north, and they kind of pincered him.
Dude, the boulders dropped and a bunch of ring girls came out.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is, dude.
Oh man, he's so fucked. I can't wait to do that fight. When are we doing that? Next weekend? Is that the plan?
I don't know.
That is the plan. If we could get if we could figure out everything we need to figure out with Fantasy Grounds or whatever we're going to use for a platform.
Yeah, and with our recording, that's pretty much what tonight is we're testing all of our remote shit, see how it comes out, see how much of a pain in the ass. I mean, I got to tell you, right, I was going to address this after the BTS when we go into, what everybody's been doing during COVID season here. But I've been busy as fuck all at my work. So, I'm also going to talk about the Mossy Talks on YouTube. Point people there if they want to tune in on that. I've pretty much been doing those, and those are like bare minimum effort. The amount of editing that I put into those is literally just putting our Natty19 logo at the beginning of it.
What are they?
Yeah, that's it. And I put in the second and third ones, I put like the BTS intro music at the beginning.
I know.
as well.
What are the Mossy Talks?
Yeah, what are they?
Oh, it's a YouTube. It's on our YouTube channel. They're just like essentially what I did during this downtime is I blew the dust off the covers of some old games, some old PC games. I started with EverQuest 1, and I just was going into it to see if they were how does it go, to see if they're still as fun as I remember them. I guess, yeah, and just to kind of talk about, you know, the game itself and also just other things that have been going on, kind of logging what's happening with us in the show and everything like that, as far as why nobody's heard of us or heard from us. But at the same time, as I was saying earlier, like 0.1% of our listener base is on YouTube. So nobody's hearing that. So that's where tonight I was like, well, let's do a kind of BTS / hangout where we can talk to people, let people know that we're still here, and try to give an update on what our plans are going forward throughout this process. This way everybody can hear it. And also tell people that, hey, I know that for the last 2 years or whatnot, our YouTube channel's been pretty empty and lonely, and not much has been going on. But due to COVID season, we're changing that. I know I am, and anybody else in the Natty19 fam is more than welcome to do similar projects. Like I said, minimal effort. I'm just throwing them up there. It's very raw recordings, but it's fun. So join us there, or join me there.
I mean, the audio quality is good, right? It's just a straight recording, though. It's just you hanging out, playing.
Yep, that's it. The first one...
You can see the video of you playing, right?
It's going to be on and off. So the first one, there's no video. Mossy Talks episode 1, there's no video, and I was recording through a USB Logitech headset. That's all I had at the time. I was just testing it to see if... I was just getting the feel for it, you know? I was just like, am I going to enjoy doing this? Am I going to have time to do this? With customers coming in and interrupting me, how's that going to play out? And so I did it, and I was like, okay, that actually worked out pretty well. I was able to use... for that first one, I used... what the hell was it? For recording software. I don't even fucking remember anymore. Oh, it was Windows Game Capture, Xbox Game Capture through Windows 10, right? And it worked out well. It was easy peasy. The second one, I did the same thing, but I did the video recording through Logitech's Capture software because I brought my camera in, my webcam. So the second Mossy Talks does have video, and I also brought in my another microphone, Behringer mic, hooked it up to an audio interface, so the audio is like our D&D quality audio. And the third one I did was actually featuring an old MMO called Anarchy Online, and that actually gained some traction, some dialogue in there in the chats.
So what's coming up next for a game?
Oh, I'm not sure. And it's going to be there's no real format. I'm going to revisit EverQuest. These are games that I'm kind of messing around with where I can when I'm not busy. And it could be another EverQuest video, could be another Anarchy Online video, could be something completely different. One thing.
So it's basically like a trip down memory lane to these games you used to rock like back in the day. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. Yeah, and it has been a lot of fun. It's been great revisiting it, and I look forward to doing more of them. And if anybody has any ideas, or if they want me to check out a game from their childhood that they think that I'd appreciate, I certainly will take that into consideration, and I will definitely love to participate in something like that.
So, Jet Moto 2? Fuck, you used to love that game.
Fucking do it.
Rap. Chuck, do you want to talk about TD at all?
Yeah, I guess I could talk a little bit about Tactical Dungeoneering is a project that I just started recently. I should say it's more than a project. I actually am no longer working as a software engineer, which is what I was doing for the last 19 years. So I've just
again.
Yeah, so just recently started a tabletop RPG publishing endeavor called Tactical Dungeoneering, and the first game, I still don't have like a name for it. I have a working title, but we have a website up, tacticaldungeoneering.com.
And that the other day.
Yes, so far I have a game design all set, and the first game is in development, and so that's something I've been working on. I haven't been talking about it too much, but I think it's probably about time to start talking about it.
Yeah.
I read your blog post about doing away with the sacred cows. I enjoyed it. It was a good read.
Yeah. So there's some interesting choices that I'm making to try to. I want to capture like the sense of excitement that I have basically every time I get a new RPG, right? But I also want to be able to stand out a little bit. I want this RPG to be different enough to be interesting, but still, it's a tough balance to strike. Everybody wants to have familiar aspects.
So are you looking to target already experienced RPG players, or is there anything about it that would invite newbies?
Yep. Yeah, that's a big part of the goal, is to make RPGs more accessible to newbies, make it a lot easier to play. But I don't want to forego experienced RPG players. I've been playing RPGs almost my entire life.
Yeah,
so
that must
be
a
game
delicate.
That's fun for me to play too.
Yeah, that must be a delicate balance, sort of not wanting to intimidate new players with a lot of jargon and rules, while still making it complex enough for seasoned players to dig in.
Right.
Isn't the whole thing fit on one page?
The base rule system, the whole core rule system fits on one page. But but the actual RPG that I'm going to package is going to be more than one page, because that's going to have like a lot of the flavor, like I have my own style elves and halflings and dwarves and these are races that we're all familiar with because they're standard across all of the fantasy material. But I have taken a different spin on what elves are like and on what dwarves are like and that sort of thing. I was actually taking a page out of Dark Sun's book, how they kind of took the tropes and kind of spun them around a little bit.
Yep. You got the halfling, the elves, the dwarves. Do you have the giant brute class?
I actually don't, but giants are an important part of the campaign world. And the thing is, halflings and cyclopses actually have a little bit of a rivalry going on, because they're both sheep herders, and the halflings steal. The halflings tend to steal sheep from the cyclopses, and it pisses them off.
Sounds like a good time.
It's an interesting project. I'm happy to be working on it, and I'm actually working on it full time. So this is no longer a hobby thing. This is what I'm going to be pursuing. This is what I am pursuing as a new career.
So you're also building a world to go along with the playset then. It's not just a core game set. It's going to have like a whole world with it.
There is going to be a world, yes. I'm not going to get too into detail. I'm not going to build it out like the Forgotten Realms or like Galarian or anything like that, where every single city and all the NPCs are there. I'm going to give the flavor of the world and let the players just kind of, fill in the details.
Word.
When are we playing?
Yeah.
Probably in the next few months, if you guys want to do a playtest.
Absolutely.
Oh,
We're gonna
yeah.
have to, aren't we?
Yeah, I'll make you.
Yeah, I'm going to make you do it.
Your other RPG friends?
Sweet.
Yeah.
Okay, so that segues a little bit into, I was going to ask, so you said you were now working on this full time now. I was going to go around the table here, and I know with this whole COVID season, some people, it's been a bit of a diverse situation across the board, at least with people I know. There's been a lot of folks that I know that kind of, they're in a position to where they're just kind of taking a temporary paid vacation, staying in, doing the right thing. Then there's other folks who got to go out there, got to still work, do the same thing they've been doing, just under ridiculous circumstances. And then there's other folks who just they're staying at home because they lost their job to one degree or another, and they don't really know where to go next. And that's incredibly unfortunate, and my heart definitely goes out to those folks. So with you, Chuck, you're in a position, you had these plans. You were kind of seeing this down the pipe. With your job, this isn't quite COVID related, but it's similar, I think, just with the passage of, with the current time and events. I guess you kind of saw the end of your long-term career coming, and you had this planned. That you were going to try pursuing your own this goal of yours with the game to see where that goes, right?
Yeah, that's true. To be honest, though, I was looking at it as like maybe 2 years out, and I was hoping to have some time to lay some groundwork down, and then by the time I hit this full time, I wanted to have maybe a product ready to go, so that I could do a lot more marketing and that sort of thing. Development is a lot of work, and it takes a lot of time, and it's not very visible work.
Yeah.
So it's maybe I'm starting a little bit. So it was a premature departure, I guess, from my previous career.
Yeah.
If things worked out in a perfect world, I would still be working on this, and then still also have an income for the next year or two. But
right on.
But we don't, it's still an opportunity, and we don't get to choose the perfect world in every scenario. So just
Very
make
true.
the best with what we have.
Yeah.
Very true. Christy was she was the first one really in my immediate vicinity who got axed. She's a waitress, as everybody knows, at Mickey's, and he didn't fuck around. He was pretty much like, as soon as word got out about that Dartmouth doctor that potentially, had infected everybody over there in White River, he pretty much just shut everything down. At first, it was like, we're just going to do drive-through and this and that, but then he was like, nope, fuck it, I'm going to shut everything down. But then he'd backtracked on it, decided to just do pickup and delivery. Mm-hmm. But unfortunately, there was a very small, select group of folk who got to work those positions. So Christy hasn't been back to work since. And sadly, being a stay-at-home mom for most of that time while also working a part-time job doesn't suffice for any kind of unemployment benefits or any sort of, relief stimulus packaging. Any of this. So, there's always going to be people who fall through the cracks with shit like that, and sadly, we've always kind of been on that front, being a small business owner still. I don't know what's going to happen. I know there's some programs that I can apply for. I applied for one of them. Within the first 3 fucking questions, I didn't know the answer because it involved payroll and other shit that I don't have, or I don't, you know what I mean?
Right.
And there's nobody knows anything. I called up my bank who's supposed to be handling this shit, and they're like, I don't know anything about this, and it's already just came out yesterday, and it's already changed 3 times, so even if I did know something, I wouldn't know it now. I'm like, okay, so thanks.
I think that's another thing that's a big difference, because not only did I stop working at Mickey's, but because we're homeschooling now, and we want to put ourselves at risk as little as possible, I'm no longer going out to the store with John. So we were doing it together for a little while, and stuff like, normally, under normal circumstances, that's my realm. I do paperwork, stuff like that. Like, that's, when it comes up, it'd be like, okay, that's a Christy job. Go for it, But with homeschooling and everything, I don't even have time for it. It's like and they're not even big kids. I'm dealing with a first grader and 2 preschoolers. but all three of them have different things they need to do every day. And John comes home and tries to talk to me about the store, and I'm like, look, dude, I can't care about that. I'm sorry. I want to care about it. I miss us being a team, but it immediately separated our home into like your job. We went into survival mode essentially, and it was like, you teach the kids and handle everything there, and you take care of the store.
Yeah, I'll take care of the store. Try not to bring the COVID back into the nest. But meanwhile, I'll still, the biggest thing is, do we close down? Is that the smart thing to do? Or do I still fucking work because we need some sort of income and we need something to go back to after this is over? Like, it's a very stressful thing. But we're doing it. We're certainly going to try to keep things going, especially with the show. We just need to work out some details, and even though all of our workloads has increased considerably, we'll certainly try to keep things going for everybody who's expecting a show here. Swain's,
luckily, up to this point, we've managed to keep putting something out every other week, right?
Yeah, I mean, thanks to we certainly built up a little bit of content.
Do we have one more fiasco that we can put out?
We have one more fiasco, but that just the most recent fiasco just went out to our Patreon supporters. And I want to be fair to our Patreon supporters, so rather than I really want them to have a fair enough preview. So I don't want to release that fiasco for at least another month or two. Yeah.
Okay. I was actually going to mention this earlier. Fiasco, wouldn't that be a pretty
that would be
simple
an easy game.
That would be an easy
remotely.
game for us to play remotely, and I think, I know we've had a couple ones that weren't great, but I think that if we stuck with Fiasco and did it a few more times, I think we have the potential to get very good at that.
Really?
I do.
A couple
think
ones
so.
that weren't great? I thought they were all fucking awesome.
I thought they were all pretty good, too. Even though we bungled the rules, maybe, and that's mostly my fault.
Yeah. Well, I don't really think it's not so much that I think all of our characters were great and the stories were great. It's more so I don't think we've fully mastered recording it in a way that's.
I think
you mean like fluid gameplay?
Yes, fluid gameplay and almost like a structure. Almost like I think that if we were to introduce each section very structured the same way every time.
Well, I think Swain's did a hell of a job editing those. I didn't have a hand in those, and so I'll do it any day of the week if he continues to do that. That being said, though, I enjoyed Fiasco, so I'm always willing to do that. But I did. But that being said, I have been getting the feeling that we started off hot and we're getting worse and worse at it as we go. I don't think we're getting any better.
Well, I don't know. I think
No.
I think we've gotten. I think the last time we played, we were a little bit rougher, but I feel like there's been ups and downs. Like I thought we were pretty good in our Salem game.
I think there have been ups and downs too, and I think that
Salem one was cool. I rescind my.
I think that we will see ups and downs, but I think that eventually we could really. I think that we have the imagination.
Basically, that game's all about the setting.
Yeah, I think we have
if you don't nail the setting, you can really get lost.
Yeah, and I think that if with a little bit of practice, even if we didn't record, even if we just played for fun for the first few times, and then we recorded the first one, and that I just think that has the potential to. We have the potential to make that come out really great, and it's an easy game to play remotely.
And maybe we should do a little bit of homework, like pick a movie or something that's related to the content that we're going to record for it, and just to get your head into the genre.
I think that's a great idea. We could, if in a chat we put recommendations out there too. If one person, I've been watching all the James Bond movies on Amazon.
I see that they put them up there.
Oh my god, I love those movies so much. I've been watching them from the beginning forward.
Yeah.
But I think that would, I don't know, easy game to play remotely, and I think that we definitely have the potential to make that work well.
There's plenty of play sets that are out there for free available.
Absolutely.
I even wrote one, so.
Yeah, we can do yours. And it's, I mean, who knows how long we're going to have to be doing this, and even if we just play it for fun this way, it could be something simpler than a more in-depth RPG.
I hate to say it, but like I feel like TOA would really suffer remotely. I do want to get back in there though and continue that quest, and especially where we left off.
I think that it would suffer too. It's unfortunate. I feel like there's the potential for it not to. If all of us had decent internet and a laptop.
That's that's the biggest thing, right? Is like we went through a whole process of fine-tuning, of learning what equipment is necessary to do this at a decent quality, fine-tuning that equipment, and pretty much this is forcing us to do that all over again, only instead of in one area, in several.
Right.
And that's already started to show familiar challenges. That's bringing me back to our early days when I was fucking poring over YouTube videos on what does what equipment I'm going to be needing for this shit. And so I don't know how long this is going to go on for, and I think that's the biggest thing. If I knew it was only going to be a month, then we could hold off. But what if it's 6 months?
We should try. I think we should at least try.
Well, I'm curious to see how this comes out. I think that's going to be a big deciding factor.
It is, and I agree with you there. I think if this works out pretty well, and it all comes together and it sounds decent, then we can go from there, work on the next step. We might have to loosen up. I know we just loosened up on our schedule again, but we might not have to. But given how much busier I've been alone at the store, I'm doing curbside sales now. So like pretty much every bag of soil, every nutrient, everything that leaves the store, I fucking bring out. And sometimes, and I also take orders over the phone too. And because I'm the only one there, it's just like sometimes I'm just fucking running around like an asshole sweating, So it's been a pain in the ass most for the better part of the day. And then the thing is I've noticed, and I don't know if this is going to change, but it tapers off. Like the morning, as soon as I get there, I'm balls to the wall busy until maybe about 3 o'clock, 3:30, and then the next 2 to 3 hours is just dead, And if that trend continues, then that won't be bad. I'll be able to get some editing in and do what we got to do to keep the show on track,
Yeah. Oh, I did want to mention a couple things. I wanted to mention that there are still discounts for some of our the people in our community. Tom over at Oni Technology is giving a 20% discount on the laser engraved dice boxes.
Nice.
So go over there, check them out. Oni Technology over at Etsy. Justice Cat, who did some of our character portraits, he's giving 10% off to Natty19 fans. So use discount code Natty19 for both of those guys. Oni Technology and Justice Cat, who can be found on Twitter.
Dude, both those guys, excellent. Those dice boxes are awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I love our portraits that Justice Cat did for us.
Yeah, my Mops character portrait right now is my Discord profile pic.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Are you putting a collage together for us?
Did you say Mops?
'Cause we have all the characters now.
Did I say Mops? I meant Quincy.
That's a name I have not heard.
Who the fuck is Mops?
Mops was back in fucking Star Wars days, dude.
Yeah, Star Wars Galaxies.
Dude, that was like 15 years ago.
Jesus.
So is this Quincy's
Charlie, where'd you go?
Where'd you go
Where'd
there
you
for
go?
a minute?
Strange days.
What's the earliest D&D character you ever made that you can remember?
Trentic Vacalon. No.
Wow, pulled that out quick.
Not even a hesitation.
Yeah, I've certainly made and played D&D long before Trentic Vacalon, my psionicist. But Trentic is the one that is the most memorable for me, only because he's the first one that I had ever really fleshed out to that degree, you know?
Yeah.
Up until that point, I'd roll a character and I'd play it, have a blast, but I didn't really put much into character development or character personality or relationships.
Yeah, mine is pre-teen era, and he was Lang. He was a full elf ranger, and I remember he rode on a Pegasus, and I think I got the inspiration for that from who rode the Pegasus in the movies there?
Clash of the
Clash of the
Titans.
Titans, yeah, man.
Perseus.
I used to love that movie when I was a kid.
Oh,
yeah,
that was
Perseus.
great.
Yeah.
I'm just so embarrassed to say the name of one of my really early characters. But he was basically an edgelord assassin that was like a master at a bow. Sunk tons of it in. Sunk everything into his bow, pretty much. Yeah, his name was Midnight.
Ooh.
Midnight. He had a jet black
Classic.
bow.
Nice.
Used
I thought you-
poisons.
I'm feeling it. It works for me.
Yeah, I'm good with Midnight.
Yeah.
My go-to character name is Darkwing.
Mm.
Just as cheesy, man.
I wish Weston was here. I remember when he was just a little kid, when he would create a character, his name was always Shadow.
Nice.
Oh, one of the best of all
Like-
time, dude. Vance Nobleman.
Oh, yeah. The Vance.
Our buddy Russ. He had a paladin gnome.
Yeah. Yeah, dude.
Did I ever play
Did
with
we-
Russ? I remember that name.
I think that was there was my campaign, and I can't remember if it was Red Steel or Dark Sun. I don't think.
Remember, I
Or
want to say it was like Cuckoo's Nest days.
Oh, Ravenloft, probably.
Okay, I think I was around for some of those days.
Yeah.
You were at least popping in and out.
Yeah, I think so. You know, Ravenloft
Or
was.
we're popping in and out.
No, Chuck was back in the day.
Oh yeah, but yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, Ravenloft was the first campaign setting that I really got into and actually did prep for, you know. But that's a story for another time. To wrap things up here, I know we've all been in isolation to some degree. Some of us been working as well, but even those of us that are working, we're still kind of limiting our exposure to the public. In the meanwhile, video games have clearly become a prevalent pastime for a lot of us. I've noticed on my friends list on Xbox and my friends list on Steam, it has been more busy than ever. So I was just going to go around. What game are you guys playing? We'll start with Christy. I don't think she's been playing much in the way of games other than Scrabble.
No.
Fucking Animal
But I
Crossing.
am on a 9-game win streak in Scrabble.
Mm-hmm. And we've got new Fallout 76
Oh, that's out
expansion
tonight at
dropping.
midnight.
That's off.
That's what I'm doing. What do
Tonight
you
at
want?
midnight.
Oh, I'm so excited.
The Wastelanders is dropping. I know you guys are like, Fallout 76, but I don't
Dude,
give a
thank
fuck.
God it's spring vacation.
I love that game. Chuck, you've
You
been
want to
playing.
throw out your handle, your handles so people can friend you, or
Oh, yeah.
private?
I mean, you guys all know me, Moss Snake. If you're on Xbox, check me out. I am Moss Space Snake. That's MOSS Space SNAKE.
Chuck, what are you playing?
I actually haven't really been doing any gaming lately, but I have been thinking about checking out the new. I guess there's been an expansion added to RimWorld. I don't know if y'all are familiar with that. K-Way was here; he'd tell you. He knows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he knows
Yeah.
that game.
yeah. He was trying to get me to play it one time. I was like, I don't play stupid shit.
Jonathan
I'm
Marshall.
just kidding.
I love that
You're
game.
such
I
a
think
prick.
It's great. So many good mods too that are available.
Cool.
I don't know anything about it. What is it? A RPG?
Yeah, it's kind of like a what would you call it? A colony builder, maybe survival type colony builder, where you have like a spaceship crash in a hostile environment, every game he plays, has a randomly generated map, and you've got to build up. You've got maybe 3 or 4 survivors. You got to build up, your shelter and fend off raiders and stuff like that. But the simulation's really cool when you can look at your character's thoughts, all your little people, and they establish relationships to one another. And some of the mods are really great. Just to tell a quick story, I guess I had captured some raiders and I kept them as a prisoner, and one of them decided to join my colony, so put him to work. The other one just kept refusing, but I kept a prisoner, a guard on him at all times while he's imprisoned. And one of the reasons he wouldn't join my colony is because he didn't have a good relationship with different people. So I decided to switch out the guards, and the next guard I put on him was a female guard that they actually ended up falling in love, but he still refused to join the colony. It was very dramatic.
Wow!
If you could imagine, that
sounds
scenario.
like a great story. Yeah.
Yeah, some real Battlestar Galactica worthy drama.
Yeah, I guess so.
Man, I've been playing Monster Hunter World mostly. Get my MR HR up. What else? What did we get into there, Bones? Remnant?
Yeah, we rocked some Remnant for a while. That's a great game. I've been having a lot of fun with that.
First person shooter in the vein of Dark Souls. Played that until I rage quit. And then I'm on to Stay of Decay 2 right now. Zombie Apocalypse. Got my camp going.
Nice. Yeah.
Having a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, that's a fun one too. I've been doing the same thing. I've been playing, obviously with K-Way, with Swain's when I can. On Xbox, I've been rocking a lot. I've actually been playing by myself a lot too on the Xbox. I've been getting into. I've been trying a lot of different games. I got the Game Pass, so I'm downloading a bunch of different shit, trying it out. I messed around with Skyforge for a little bit. I still don't know how I feel about it. Destiny 2, a new season started there. I really went hard on the last 2 seasons. This time around, I was playing by myself again, and I was like, I'm going to pass on this season. We'll see. I'm really excited about the Fallout expansion coming out tonight, Wastelanders. There is... I'm kind of burnt out on Monster Hunter, guys. I've got 600 hours into it now. Really fucking put it to it. I'm going to wait, let the content build up again, let the new... Because they add little bits. Maybe, twice a month they'll add something.
Yeah, they sprinkle stuff in here and there, so if you give it a good 3-4 months, you can come back to
exactly
something to chew on.
Yep, and so that's what I'm going to do right now. So yeah, I've just been messing around. State of Decay 2, that's a fun one that I got going on. And I've also been messing around with Phantasy Star Online 2. That's a lot of fun. That's kind of in the vein of like a faster-paced, futuristic Monster Hunter. A little bit more of an MMO than Monster Hunter, though, I think, too, because there's the main town. Everybody's in there with you, not just in like the gathering hall where you can see 1 or 2 people. So it kind of feels a little bit more online than Monster Hunter, but it's set up the same. You go to the quest counter, you pick up a mission, you go and run it with people or by yourself. You get rare armor, rare weapons, shit like that. It's a lot of fun, though. But anyway, that's pretty much it. Oh, and on PC, I've been playing, you guys know, I've been doing the Mossy Talks. Old school games. I got EverQuest 1 on the line that I've been chipping away at here and there. I got Anarchy Online that I just started. And I got a couple other... I don't want to spoil it, but I got a couple others up my sleeve that I downloaded, installed, and ready to go.
Nice, man. Some content. I'll check them out.
Hell yeah.
I've been watching a lot of Lost, and it's video game adjacent because I realized one of the things I really loved about that show is that it reminds me of when Myst first came out so many years ago and playing that sort of puzzle game with the fantastic landscape and all of these strange rooms. But yeah, this must be like my 4th time through Lost, and it's a rabbit hole, dude. Like, you just catch more and more stuff every time. 5th time. It might be my 5th time.
Yeah, it's a good show. It's one of my favorite shows. I try to watch it once a year, if not once every 2 years. It's definitely a staple. The new game, by the way, from the creators of Myst is called Abduction. If anyone wants to check that out. I have not played it yet, but it does look like...
Is it on Game Pass?
No, it's not on Game Pass. I just saw it on the store the other day. I think it was like $15-20 or something like that. But
all right, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's a wrap for me.
yeah, we definitely got our time in on this one. So
Yeah, it was good to see y'all again. Good to chat with y'all again, and we should set up a time to give it a shot.
Awesome. Well, it was good to see you guys and good to chat with you a little bit. Talk about TOA and say what's up to the peeps that listen to us. So
yeah,
thanks for tuning
absolutely. And I guess we'll wrap it up with we're going to try to keep things coming out to you guys. Hopefully this thing will end and we can get back to doing some things.
Huzzah.
Good evening.
Peace.